I'm gonna go through the actual chemical service with the Perm for you. And I'm gonna put this on Google Classroom, which lists all the different steps so that you guys will know. We've been working a lot with wrapping the Perm, but I just wanna show you guys the next step of the process, which is going through and actually doing your chemical wave service. Lamani, can you grab me a pair of gloves? Yeah. Thank you.
Ms. Sines, what would you say is most important, the chemical part of the Perm or the physical phase of the Perm?
Sure. Actually, that's an excellent question because both the chemical and the physical action of doing a Perm are equally important, because it's very important to do your Perm wrap properly, because that's the formation of the curl. But making it into a permanent wave comes from using the chemicals and the process of using the waving lotion, which is breaking down the bonds, and then locking it into place with your neutralizer. So I can't really say that one is more important than the other. They work as a system, and that's what achieves the results. So I would say probably the most important part of this service is going to be the consultation, because that's where you're going to discuss with your client what size of rod to use based on the type of curl pattern that they want, and you're also going to determine what kind of sectioning to use based on the different kinds of rods. Just to give you an example, we were working with different kinds of spiral rods. You know, we had these loop rods, and then we also had the bendy spiral rods, and you don't do the same sectioning for this kind of a Perm. You just do straight horizontal partings rather than your 10 box sectioning for a traditional Perm. So this is something that's going to come up during your consultation, and that's how you'll decide what to do. So getting ready for the Perm, it's important to do the proper draping. So the way we drape for a chemical service is towel underneath, then you put your cape on top of that, and then you grab another towel, and this is also called double draping. And what it does is it protects your client from getting any chemicals on their skin or on their clothing. And as these towels get wet, you can just replace them. You always want to be keeping your client dry and keep them protected underneath the cape. Okay, so proper draping comes first. And then you're going to analyze their hair and their scalp. You're looking for any kinds of abrasions on their scalp that possibly could get irritated with the Perm chemicals. And analyzing their hair, checking their porosity, checking what kind of condition the hair is in to make sure that it's ready to receive a Perm. If their hair is in real bad shape, you're better off just letting them know that they can't have a Perm that day, because it's just going to damage their hair and you're going to be the one responsible for it. So don't be afraid to say no if your client has bad hair. Once you've decided what you're going to do and your consultation is complete, you're going to take your client to the shampoo bowl, and you're going to use a good clarifying shampoo to get out any hard water buildup, chlorine buildup, product buildup. You want to start with a clean canvas so that the Perm will have the best results.
Do you think that when we are clarifying their hair, we need to scrub their scalp really hard and clarify their scalp as well? Or do you think that would be not such a good idea because we're about to put chemicals on their hair?
Excellent question. We're clarifying the hair, not the scalp. So anytime you're getting ready to do a chemical service that requires a shampoo beforehand, you want to use gentle pressure on the scalp. You don't want to create any kinds of abrasions, because when we go through and put the waving lotion on, it could irritate the scalp. So you want to use a gentle massaging motion on the scalp. You want it to be clean, but not anything that's going to cause irritation. So the clarifying aspect of the shampoo is really for the hair itself, not the scalp. So good question. All right, so after you've done the shampoo, then you're ready to put your sections in. As we talked about, depending on the type of Perm that you're going to do, you'll either put in your 10 boxes like we've learned, or you would do a different sectioning technique for a spiral Perm or a long hair Perm. So we will go through and do our wrap using end papers. Normally you're just gonna wrap with water. Some perms do come with a pre-wrap solution, which is something special that just helps to even out the porosity and get the hair ready for the perm, but more often than not, you're just gonna wrap with water. It's also important to make sure that when you're pulling the hair through the end wraps that you fully enclose the ends in between the end wraps before you start rolling it down, because we want to avoid those fish hook ends, which are just going to look frizzy and have to get cut off after the perm, and sometimes they can even cause breakage. So we're taking care to put the end wraps on properly. Okay, so we're getting ready to apply the waving solution. As you can see, my client is all wrapped. She's ready for her perm. And so we're going to protect her hairline with some cotton. And this, you just sort of tuck it up underneath these rods. And you're all the way around. I like to go around twice because this can get really drippy. And you don't want this product dripping down into her face and down her neck. Okay. And your perm is going to come with a couple different things in it. This perm is a perm for normal hair. It comes with a part A and a part B. This is the waving lotion and the activator. I'm going to mix the activator into the waving lotion and gently mix it. Some perms have this and some perms don't. Sometimes when you mix these two together, it will start to kind of heat up in the bottle. Those are usually exothermic perms. They have a little chemical reaction in the bottle. You have to snip the tip, and then I'm just going to gently shake it to mix the two. And then before I apply, I'm going to put my gloves on. Okay, I like to apply kind of in a like a methodical way because I don't want to lose track of where I've put the product. This is very important that the hair be saturated thoroughly and completely. So what I'm doing is I'm going end to end, making sure I'm sort of zigzagging back and forth on this hair, making sure it's all the way saturated. I like to start at the top of the head and work my way down because that's the way the gravity is going to pull this liquid anyway. So you might as well let it drip down onto the hair that's about to get permed.
I must say that your hair looks fabulous in this video.
My hair?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
That color is like on point.
Well, I have a great stylist.
You have two great stylists.
It takes a village. This mannequin was wrapped as an activity that the seniors did. We did a relay race and everyone took a turn wrapping this mannequin. So all of the seniors had a hand in rolling these perm rods. It was really pretty fun. I thought it was fun. Okay, so I'm just going back over it, making sure it's very saturated. I don't want to miss any spots. It's starting to smell. Perms have a very distinct odor. Some people really are bothered by it. I personally am not, because I came up in the 80s. Perms were very popular. And to me, it just smells like a hair salon. I joke around, I say it smells like money to me.
So what would you do, what should you do if you notice perm solution dripping down their face, like off of their chin? Like, would you wipe it down with a clean towel right away?
I see she's getting some drippage right here. So It's very important to have extra towels. And what I would do is I would have my client holding a towel and I would say, this is for you to catch any drips if you feel it dripping. And so that way I make them a part of it as well, so that they can take care of their own drips if it's starting to, drip down their face. But so this cotton is very wet. I'm gonna replace it with a dry piece of cotton. So this is important to do. You need to pay attention to what's getting wet and what's drippy. See, even in that time that I took the cotton down, it started to drip down her face. Also, I would suggest when you are applying the Perm solution to the front, you would tilt your client's head back so it's not gonna drip. But then when you come to apply the solution to the back, you need them to lean forward a little bit, so that's when it's helpful to give them a towel so that they can hold it over their face to make sure that there's no drips. If I noticed that this towel here was wet from the solution dripping, I would change that as well. But it looks pretty dry, so I think she's pretty comfortable. This is the bag that comes with your Perm. It's a square. It's not as nice as our elasticized ones. So you open it up like this, and you just sort of put it up underneath the back to catch all the drips, and then you twist it in the front like this. And I'm making sure that the plastic is sitting on the cotton. I don't want the plastic sitting on her skin. That can cause a chemical burn. So by doing this, it holds the drips in, it holds the smell of the fumes in, and she's gonna sit there and process for 20 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer for 20 minutes, and after about 10 minutes, I'm gonna check it and do a test curl. So that will tell me how it's coming along, and what I'm gonna be looking for with my test curl is that S formation. So I don't unwind it all the way. You'll see I'll just unwind it a little bit and see if it's starting to make that S curl formation, and that's how I'll know that she's processing, and when it's done, then we'll be ready to rinse.